All right, so thank you, everybody. It is JKD. It's on a Tuesday because of Memorial Day. It's May 26th, but we're still going to get a lot done. So Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, and Japanese. Okay, so this has always been what I call the dream, is to have the written curriculum for everything, comprehensive, progressive, learnable, learning builds on prior learning, and that happened a long time ago. I've had a written curriculum for what I teach that I wrote for a really long time. This version of the JKD curriculum really got kind of finalized, or at least in its current version, because it is a living document, about 5 years ago. And what we do is this. I can wrap this up very quickly verbally, and then we're going to train, okay? The Jun Fan Gung Fu might as well be called Bruce Lee's Kung Fu, okay? That's his Chinese name, right? God is Jun Fan. Here we have the prerequisite drills, the combinations. They tend to be like, this is Jun Fan level 1, which we're going to move through as much as possible right now as we can. They tend to be denser blocks of curriculum with all of the seminal requirements. So the way that, real quickly, my phase 1 is set up for Jeet Kune, we have Jun Fan level 1, Jun Fan level 2, and those are the prerequisites for Jeet Kune phase 1. Now, Jeet Kune phase 1, you've got some things that you're doing verbally that you're explaining. You're going through the first 7 ABCs from memory, as those are called off to you. You're researching finishes on your own from other martial arts for ABCs 1 through 7. You're researching finishes for trapping combos 2 through 7, and then you have some light sparring with different modalities. So the JKD levels are more about research and performance, and that's the way things are set up within my curriculum. Organized curricular requirements, the system, Jun Fan. The process of tailor-making your own personalized system of martial arts from the martial values that you discovered in Jun Fan, Jeet Kune. Okay, so that being said, let's start with Jun Fan level 1. We're going to move through as much of it as possible, and we're going to explore what it might look like if you don't have a training partner exploring it and learning it on your own. So SDA, we start with SDA, single direct attack. I start everybody with their dominant side forward. So for most of the population, we're in a right lead. That's pretty traditional. We learn our jab. We learn our cross, we learn our hook, we spend more time in our curriculum working our hooks on the lead side. You can play with a rear hook, but I don't spend a lot of time there. We play with our body hook, we learn our uppercuts on both sides, we learn our overhands on both sides, hitting with your knuckles, and we learn our hammer fists on both sides, all right? And it depends on the individual in front of me, if it's their first lesson or so. If they've got it or they've got prior martial arts background, this usually goes very quickly. But that's the first thing, learning those tools as singular tools or single direct attack. Okay, so then the now tech, or the hook kick, or the roundhouse kick. 2 ways of learning it. We're going to be in a right lead. First way, I just lean back and I snap it out there, all right? So non-telegraphic, we're trying to avoid taking a step. We're trying to avoid a minuscule shift. We just lean back and fire that kick, okay? So that's snapping. The other way, we've explored this before. I'm sorry, I should have kept this down here. The other way is the pendulum, is my preference. Is I'm in my baizhang. My rear foot slides in and loads that kick, all right? So we have the roundhouse kick as an SDA. We have it snapping and we have it pendulum. When you pendulum, it should be still pretty non-telegraphic. That rear foot slides in, and that's it. And we can throw the kick. So there's the Now Tech as an SDA. We haven't needed anybody so far. We haven't needed any training partners so far. Even if we had one available, this has all been solo training. Okay, so the Juk Tech or the side kick. So by itself is we just lean back and arm it. Sorry, lean back and arm it and fire. Okay, it's got a little kind of savate energy here as we kind of arm it and fire and come back and set it down. Okay, so that's by itself. As the Jeet Tech, please excuse me, the Jeet Tech, we just lean back and jam it out there. We're imagining somebody moving in on us, boom, and we just lean back and jam them on their shin. Okay, so by itself is when we arm it and we throw it, right? And then the Jeet Tech, we just lean back and we fire and we have it. Back stepping side kick is my left foot. I'll change the angle in 1 second. My left foot steps behind my right foot and enables the kick. So I'm stepping left foot behind. So you're just gonna have a motion like that. Back stepping side kick, okay? So we've explored all these tools as SDA, single direct attack, the first way of attack in Jeet Kune Do, okay? So we haven't needed anybody and it's been fine. Footwork, now we're in the Junfan kickboxing section. Those were essential tools. Now we're moving into the actual Junfan kickboxing. 3 footworks, step and slide, step and slide, step and slide. I'm advancing, step and slide, retreat, step and slide, retreat, step and slide, retreat. What I like about all 3 of these, they're named after what you do. So it's very easy to remember them. Step and slide, advance, step and slide, advance, step and slide, retreat, step and slide, retreat. Ideally, you should change leads, step and slide, advance, step and slide, advance, step and slide, retreat, step and slide, retreat. But it depends on the person that's in front of me and how quickly they're getting it. Because I'm building a foundation here, usually the majority of the populace is right-handed and they're learning this in a right lead. And if they really, really struggle, I keep them in the right lead. Slide step, okay? Slide step advance, slide step advance, slide step retreat, slide step retreat, slide step advance, slide step advance, slide step retreat, slide step retreat. So step and slide, advance, step and slide, retreat, slide step, advance, slide step, retreat. The last one's the easiest one, and we get to work both leads naturally. Step through, step through, step through, advance, step through, retreat, step through, retreat. Okay, so on the high line, hands are up, chin's tucked down, step and slide, advance, step and slide, advance, step and slide, retreat, step and slide, retreat, slide, step, advance, slide, step, advance, slide, step, retreat, slide, step, retreat, step through, advance, step through, advance, step through, advance, step through, retreat, step through, retreat, step through, retreat. Okay? Step and slide, slide, step, advancing and retreating, step through, advancing and retreating. Those are the 3 basics. And again, so it's something we see a lot, honestly, in the organization of the Inosanto curriculum. We save the easiest one for last. Okay. Okay, ABC. So here, We can't really classify footwork as one of the ways of attack of JKD, so we haven't really had anything since SDA, single direct attack. So now we're ready to move into attack by combination. If I'm by myself, I can do these on a heavy bag, I can do these on a bob dummy, I can do them in the air. Triple jab, jab, cross, jab, jab, cross, hook, jab, cross, body hook, jab, cross, lead uppercut. You know by now that's one of my, this right here is wrong, and it's one of my pet peeves. You're gonna get knocked out. Move your head low, let that uppercut come off your face, okay? No matter which side, lead or rear. Jab, cross, lead, overhand. Jab, cross, lead, hammer fist. All right? And talking as an instructor who is passing along a curriculum. We talked about this, I believe, last week or sometime semi-recently. Except for triple jab, the first family of techniques is jab, cross, X. So go through all the different punches in place of X. Some people really don't like math, but everybody understands that algebra nomenclature of the X is a variable. So after you get through triple jab, jab, cross, X, okay? And that'll help you learn the next series is cross, X, cross. So with the exception of 3 crosses in a row, which we don't do, it's too slow, we're gonna mix in all of our variables. Cross, jab, cross, cross, jab, cross, cross, hook, cross, cross, hook, cross, cross, body hook, cross, cross, lead, uppercut, cross, cross, lead, overhand, cross, and cross, lead, hammer fist, cross. The last 4 you just got to kind of memorize. Lead uppercut, rear uppercut, hook. Lead uppercut, rear uppercut, hook. Rear uppercut, lead uppercut, cross. Rear uppercut, lead uppercut, cross. Starting and finishing the last 2 with your rear hand. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. Overhand, uppercut, overhand. Hammer fist, uppercut, hammer fist. Hammer fist, uppercut, hammer fist. Okay? Was Bruce Lee doing all those? No, he wasn't. That's kind of a list of boxing 3 counts that came from various sources, and we work on them, but it still fits right into the modality of JKD. Now, why did I include the hammer fist? You know, very quickly, the U.S. Navy was in the Philippines as early as 1898, and they were shocked because they would get into bare knuckle boxing matches with the natives, and they kept losing. And why was that? Because the Filipino people kept doing guntings and sungabs and all these things that are illegal within the context of Western boxing, which is a sport with rules, okay? However, some of that fell into the U.S. Navy's manual on boxing, which Bruce Lee had a copy of and was quite enamored with. So despite what people might say, Guru Inosanto's polluted JKD with Panantukan, that's nonsense. That's what some people might say. Bruce Lee was already looking at Panantukan and Dumog and whatever you might call it because of the U.S. Navy's manual on boxing, which was influenced by Panantukan or Filipino dirty boxing. So there you go, okay? If I am alone, like I said, I can do all those boxing 3 counts in the air or on a heavy bag or on a bob dummy. If I have a partner, they can hold focus mitts for me. That's a really great way, right? So, I'll share this real quickly. This is something, I only bought this because they sent one of the first ones for free, of course, to Guru Inosanto. He he's an older gentleman, like he's had a lot of trauma to his hands, and he kind of felt like at his age at the time, he didn't like this so much. I thought this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, so I bought one. I like this as a training modifier because this does not show you the shape of the combination. Now, what do I mean by that? The focus mitts cheat a little bit, and they kind of reveal the shape of the combination. So, for example, everybody just get in a right lead. We're not gonna do this very long. Everybody get in a right lead, okay? Triple jab. Imagining you're hitting the face here, okay? Cross jab, cross. Good. Cross hook, cross. Nice. Cross uppercut, cross. Good. You have to relax. That was beautiful. You have to know the punches and where they go and what they're for versus not that it's not good, because I mean, this is the way that I've done it for 17 years now. You know, if you don't have to throw them again. This would have been for your triple jab. This would have been for your cross jab cross. This would have been for your cross hook cross. This would have been for your cross uppercut cross. So the focus mitts kind of, like I said, they kind of reveal some of what the combination is going to look like based on the way, I mean, if your holder's holding properly, that it looks. Okay, so I like, it's an expression from another system of Kali that I have some experience. They say training modifier. It's a thing that you throw into the mix that suddenly makes material that you know like the back of your hand challenging again. Because and this is a really good example, you might have years doing those combinations on the focus mitts, but then I bring in something like this. This is a really good training modifier. What I really like for this is the overhands and the hammer fists, because I always track visually where people hit, and it's a really important point. I don't care how hard anybody hits. I don't want them doing a hammer fist to the skull. Skull's one of the hardest bones in the body. Okay, it's more often than not, the skull is going to win over your hand, the bones in your hand. Okay, and the same thing, you know, hammer fist or overhand. I'm always looking on this for like contact the jaw or contact with the temple. So this is an interesting training modifier. Okay, so you really haven't needed a partner yet if you don't have one available. It's still been possible to do most of the requirements in the air. Okay, ABC, what I like to call the Now Tech or the Roundhouse Kick Sandwich series. Again, I know that's kind of a silly visual, but that seems to work for most children and adults. Bottom piece of bread is a lead roundhouse kick. The top piece of bread is a lead roundhouse kick. After you learn that, I don't even have to really point the kicks out anymore. So the first one is Now Tech, cross, hook, cross, Now Tech. So Now Tech, cross, hook, cross, Now Tech. I'm sorry, let me go go back to a right lead here, pardon me, okay? So this one as well, for clarity, I would usually teach these at the first level in a right lead, right? It's a dominant side forward. The majority of the populace is right-handed, so they're in a right lead. The cool part about this, from a learning standpoint, and this will both help you remember these, and you know, in the future, if you ever show these to anybody, maybe you'll pass this along. The reason why I like these first three, it's only the second punch that changes. Number one is cross hook cross. Number two is cross body hook cross. Number three is cross uppercut cross. All of those are in between the kicks. So usually I'll remind everybody about the kicks. I'll call it like the first time I'm teaching it in a class. Okay, everybody, we're going to go Now Tech, cross, slap, cross, or cross, hook, cross, kick, okay? And I'll actually call it. And then from that point on, I'll say, okay, before we just listen, everybody. Number two, cross, body hook, cross in between the kicks. Ready, go. And then most people can do the combination. I don't have to verbalize the kicks anymore. Number 3, cross, uppercut, cross in between the kicks. And go. Right? Cross, uppercut, cross, kick in between the kicks. Okay, so you all might remember 4 through 7, but we're sticking, I'm actually holding myself somewhat accountable. We're only doing Junfan level 1. Okay, so you all, everybody who's here is very blessed with a high level of martial arts skill and knowledge, and you know, you all already move well. For some people, because I teach a lot of people, and the majority of them are not 19-year-old guys that want to fight MMA. Like most of my bread and butter seems to be like 40-year-old people or older that really want to come in and get like a deep knowledge of the martial arts. That seems to be the kind of crowd I attract. Depending on their background, while those 3 combos might be simple and boring to all of you, that creates a high degree of confidence in some people. Wow, I did 3 5-beat combinations combining my kicks and my punches. And typically, and this is not a statement of ego, I can get that out of most people in their first session, their first JKD session with me. Okay, so great. JKD kickboxing is done. And if you had a partner, you know, the only difference might be that your partner might hold focus mitts for you. But so far, we haven't needed anybody. We've been able to do all this material, express it in the air. Okay. The last 2 sections are going to be, it'd be a little bit better if you have a partner, but I'm still going to give you a way to train it. And let me just put this on video for everybody out there. For holding, okay, I want to be in the same lead as my partner, so I'm in a right lead. If I'm holding for the right roundhouse kick, my right hand turns out, my left hand braces it, and it always seems like I'm making a stupid joke here, but this is a really important point. This is correct, this is not. You will get kicked in the groin, okay? And even well-meaning people, it's when one of your students or you gets kicked in the groin, it's horrible. That's why it's one of the primary targets. And I mean, instructors, we talk about this all the time. Guru Inosanto talks about this all the time. You will get hit by your students. It is inevitable. You just try to minimize it. Okay, so I mean, I've definitely been kicked in the groin by my I've been hit in the groin with a stick by my students accidentally. Like, it happens. You try to minimize things, but this instead of this is a really important point. Okay, so I know I don't have another person here, but let me put this on video for you. Typically, here's the first kick, whether they pendulumed in or they snapped it. I don't need any footwork to receive cross, hook, cross, and then typically I'll back off. I'll back off and come there. Okay. You know what, everybody? I'm awfully sorry. I'm thinking about my left-handed hold. I do apologize. I hold on my left side a little bit more than I do on my right. Let me correct that for you. I'm so sorry. It would be coming from the right side of their body. It's your left hand with your right hand bracing it. I apologize, because if you're facing me, you'd be receiving that from that side of the body. Okay, so I'm sorry, I spend a little bit more time usually holding for that kick in my left lead. So it would be coming from the right side of their body in a right lead. Okay, but still, this is a super important point. far away from your groin. Okay, and then regardless, you know, your rear hand typically faces them to receive the straight punches, and this hand, you know, my right hand, if it's in a right lead, here's for the hook, here's for the body hook, here's for the uppercut, and this same hold here is for the overhand or the hammer fist. Is the same kind of hold. Okay. But again, so far we haven't needed a partner. All right, so 10 minutes. I do think I can do this in 10 minutes. Okay, so right reference point. We're by ourselves, and we're trying to learn the 7 basic trapping combinations. Slap and hit. Slap with the left, hit with the right. slap with the left, hit with the right. That's number one. Pak Sao. I like Sut Sao. That's this knife hand. But you can also Sokol. That's the reverse hammer fist. Or you can Gua Choi, is the back fist. Again, lots of small breakable bones here, so just be careful you don't hit the skull. That's why these are my preference. Can you Gua Choi? Absolutely. Just be careful and hit the jaw, not the skull. Okay, so slap and hit. Let's say I have no partner. Slap and hit. Number one, slap and hit. Try this non-telegraphic. This hand honestly wouldn't move. The left would slap the line open. Okay, number two, start like number one, but they parry you across center line. So my left hand grabs and I score with the same shot. And again, what if you're by yourself and you're going to be by yourself for however many more weeks? Let's all be positive and say that we've got so many weeks to go. Well, you still need a way to train this so that will hopefully in the not too distant future when you have a partner, that boom, your learning is accelerated. So start with that. It's got to be one of these: knife hand, reverse hammer fist, back fist. They parry you across center line with their rear hand. So my left hand comes in from underneath and grabs, and I score with the same shot. So I like to say Wing Chun is an art where you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. If you don't, boom, I'm just going to hit you. If you do and you parry, I'm going to reopen the line and I'm going to hit you. Okay, so here, boom, boom. That's my number two, right? So whatever, that time I did a Gua Choi, that time I did a Sokol, whatever, that's it. Okay, 3 and 4, I want you to slap and come in with this vertical fist. And now 3 and 4, they stopped you on or before center line. So you move in and inside slap. So 3, 1, 2, double pops out. 1, 2, double slapping hand. Slap with the left, hit with the right, slap on the inside with the left, and score with the right. 1, 2. This is number 3. Slap and hit, inside slap and hit. This is if you don't have a partner. If you can do number 3, you can do number 4, because that's why I put them, that's why I made them 3 and 4. Start like 3, punch on the open line with your left hand, finish like 3. So number 4 is number 3 with 1 additional movement. This is the same as 3. I add this in to make this punch, to make it number 4, and I finish just like 3. Okay, so 3 is double slap and hit, 1, 2. 4 is slap and hit, punch to the second slap and hit. Very simple. Good. Number 5 is the only outlier where we're not going to start with a Pak Sao. I turn this over and I grab and I hit with the left. Then I grab with the left and I hit with the right. So pull with the right, hit with the left, pull with the left, hit with the right. And I like these. You can do any of the backhand attacks. I like Suts outs, okay? The reason I like, instead of Chung Chois, is because I get to turn out. If I have an opponent over here, I can still see my opponent in my peripheral vision, but I get to scan for multiple opponents. And then I turn on the other side, and I get to do the same thing. So I like the backhand attack. So 5, pull and hit, pull and hit. So we call 5 double lops out, right? So right hand pulls, left hand hits. It meets an obstruction, left hand hits. I'm sorry, left hand pulls, right hand hits. Right pulls, left hits, left pulls, right hits. Right pulls, left hits. It meets an obstruction, left pulls, right hits. That's number 5. Number 6, and we're almost done. Start like 1. You get pulled across center line. You fire this BUG, but you get stuck on the arm called the wedge. So you slap the line open with your right and score with your left. Slap and hit, parry. They parry across center line. Wedge to slap and hit. Pak Sao to wedge to Pak Sao is going to be your number 6. Pak Sao to wedge to Pak Sao. Whereas 7, first motion's the same, the wedge is the same, except I pull with my left and I score with my right. Okay, so number 7 is pak, wedge, lop, or slap and hit, wedge, pull and hit. Number 6 is slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit. 7, slap and hit, wedge, pull and hit. Okay, so let's do it. We'll do everything in the air real quickly. And I should have time to finish grappling because it's super easy. Okay, slap and hit. Use a backhand attack. Satsao, sokol, guachoi. Okay, number 1. And usually we assume number 1 we scored. Like I open the line, boom, and I just hit him. And that's it. So pox out, number 1. Number 2, starts like number 1. They parry across center line, so I grab with my left and I score with my right. That's it. Number 3 and number 4, I'm going to come in still with a slap, but I'm going to hit with this vertical fist for 3 and 4. So 3, I do that. They parry on center line, so I inside slap and I punch. I score. I punch them in the face. 4 is the same as 3, but we open the same. We add this punch, and then we finish the same as 3. Okay. Thread that punch, and then finish it up. Beautiful. Number 5, remember, is outlier, because we're not starting with a pox out. We pull with the right and backhand with the left. We run into an obstruction, we pull with the left, and we backhand, we score with the right. 6 and 7 is the wedge. So I start like 1. I get parried across center line. I fire this BG, but I get stuck on their arm. 6, I slap that arm out of the way and score, slap it with my right and score with my left. So slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit is number 6. 7, good, that's it. This is, everything's the same up until the wedge, but I pull and hit. That's the only difference, okay? So Gene, can I borrow you real fast? Okay, so just put this on camera for you with a partner so you can see it. And we'll cover grappling in like 2 minutes, and then that's it. So, right lead. Number 1, don't block this, I promise I'm not going to hit you. Boom, I score, right? Whatever shape this takes, that's number 1. Boom, I score. Number 2, she parries across center line, so my left hand pulls, and I score. 3 and 4, remember I'm coming in with this vertical fist, so 3, I go in, double slap and hit. 4, I start like 3, I punch on this open line, and then I finish like 3. 5 is the outlier. See, I pull with my right now instead of pocking, and I hit, and then I pull here and I hit. Okay? 6 is we start like 1 and 2. Slap and hit. She crosses center line. I go for this eye jab. I get stuck on her eye. So I slap the line open. That's the wedge. I slap the line open. I score. 7, everything's the same as 6, but then I'm going to pull and hit. Right? So one more time. 6. That's nice and slow. Boom. There's 6. So pock, slap and hit, wedge, slap and hit for 6. Slap and hit, wedge, pull and hit for 7. All right? And all the lopsaus, keep your thumb out of it. So me, thank you. Okay, let's pretend that this is your opponent's arm. This is wrong. See how my thumb is engaged? We want our thumb here. That's the only thing, right? It just keeps you safe, so that this doesn't get broken. Okay, grappling. We're going to cover it in 2 minutes. So we've looked at this before. Grappling, 1 minute. Cover, cover, cover. Punch, punch, punch. If I'm by myself, I simulate cover. I defend 3 punches, and I return 3 punches. I defend 3 punches. I return 3 punches. Cover, cover, cover. Hit, hit, hit. If they go for belly shots, I use my elbows. I don't drop my hands. That's a good way to get hit in the face. Keep your hands high. Focus on protecting your head, protecting the computer center. The body shots you try to deflect with your elbow. So we usually do that for a minute. Cover, 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 hit, hit, hit. Okay? Second drill. Cover, 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 clinch, simulate pressure, let go, fire 3 punches. So cover, 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 clinch, simulate pressure, let go, fire 3. Okay, first drill, you do it for 60 seconds. You could, if you don't have a partner, you do it in the air. Cover 3, return 3. Cover 3, imaginary punches, return 3. Second drill, cover 3, sit up a little, clinch with one hand, simulate pressure, let go, fire 3. Okay? If you have a partner, your partner would be on, in your guard, opened or closed with focus mitts, cover, 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 punch, punch, punch. This is how they would feed. 1, 2, 3, and then they would hold for your punches. 1, 2, 3, and then they would hold for your punches. Second drill, 1, 2, 3, they pull you down. This is, you simulate pressure. They let you go, and then the minute they let you go, you sit up and hold mitts for their punches. Cover, 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 simulate the clinch, simulate pressure, release, fire 3. Okay, those are the 2 ground-based drills. And we're missing 1 stand-up grappling drill, and I will open with that next Monday when we go back to the regular schedule. Okay, so we're going to bow the class out. Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, Japanese. And real quickly, I posted a little bit about it on social media today. We're going to have a virtual weekend trainer certification. It's going to be Filipino martial arts to start. We will do a virtual JKD and a virtual CLOT. So I'll have those dates soon. Registration for the FMA should open in about 2 days. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a virtual version of some of my favorite weekend events that I used to teach live in my academy. So more info to follow. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to end the recording. Thanks very much.